As one of the only locally owned businesses in Albuquerque, Gala Chevrolet understands the importance of giving back to our community. And you'll feel good knowing the money you spend here helps make this a better place to live. Support the dealership that supports Albuquerque, the all-new Gala Chevrolet.
At AC Prime, we cover cooling conversions to your plumbing needs. Locally owned and operated with hands-on owners. Call us today, 505-235-4904. AC Prime, our prime concern is you. Full House Real Estate. At Full House Real Estate, we handle everything from home sales to property management. With us, our team is your team. Give us a call today, 505-244-1918.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Dream Style Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dream Style Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online reviews and have an A+ with the BBB. Dream Style Remodeling is a proud supporter of UNM Athletics. Visit our beautiful 10,000 square foot showroom at 1460 Renaissance Boulevard across from Sam's Club or dreamstyleremodeling.com to make your home remodeling dreams come true.
Hello everybody, welcome to Red Menace TV here on Proview Networks. Leroy Lucero, along with Michael Carlisle and Sebastian Noel. Hey, how you doing, guys?
Well, welcome back.
Yeah, sorry, it's just stuff that happens, you know, doctors.
Yeah, I'd like right at the start of the show to say we missed you last week.
But
I'd like to say that. I can't. It was great not having you here.
Yeah.
You're back this week, so.
Yeah, what can I say? Hey, big news coming this week, and something, and I think a new feature that we need to start on the show. I guess the Supreme Court allowed gambling, the states to allow gambling now within every state. They can make
legal sports betting.
Legal sports betting, gambling, I guess you can call it whatever you want. At this point, I guess New Mexico doesn't have anything on the books that they can get that going, but I know Mo Maestas is really pushing
for
that immediately.
Mo Maestas on the radio show earlier this week, and he seemed optimistic that in the 60-day session in January they could get something done.
Well, he's pro-marijuana and pro-gambling, so, you know, anything that you can do to keep the poor man down by letting him waste money on pot and gambling him down.
I don't think it's about keeping the poor man down. I think it's about having a very solid revenue source dropped in your lap and trying to figure out the best way to monetize it for the state.
We'll see. We'll see.
Hold on. How many years did you deal blackjack?
I know, and guess how much the state made off of that.
Well, that's because they have to have a bad deal with the
right,
Native American
exactly.
tax.
I guarantee you that the current casinos will have sports gambling in place long before the state of New Mexico gets off their butt and does it.
I bet they don't.
You want to bet?
Yeah.
Are we gambling now?
Yes, yeah.
What
are the odds?
Sebastian, throw some odds down on
Sebastian,
this.
you tell me, because they could do it tomorrow.
They can't.
Well, no, I think
they can't. It's specifically in the gambling compacts. They cannot.
Okay.
That will have to be amended with the state before sports betting is put in the casinos. I would be willing to bet you have sports betting
We'll talk
outside
about
of the
something here in a
casinos
second, but
before you get to the casinos.
Sebastian, check in.
Well, I think I'm with Carla on this. I think the legislature is going to make sure that they don't get sliced out of this by the Indian casino. So I think, absolutely. I would love to get to the day where there's just a kiosk at a mall somewhere where you can do it electronically. I know, like, you go to some of the casinos, even some of the casinos in Vegas, you don't even have to go into the sports book.
Yeah.
I remember I was staying at a casino where they had the big Wolfgang, or I don't know, the big sports book, whatever. But they had the kiosks right by the elevators, which is great, right? So I'm with Carlisle. That it's not. You would be foolish as a state legislature to stay behind the scenes or to drag your feet on this and not get out in front and make sure you maximize that revenue for your state.
Potential revenue.
Yeah.
It's potential revenue. I agree, and I'm not.
Well, you're a Mr. Potential.
I'm not against
Texas A&M.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Turn my Lobos into Texas A&M. Yeah. You're all about potential.
I'm actually not against gambling, sports gambling. I do like to lay a wager here and there.
I'll wager you $6.8 million, just a random number.
Sure.
That it's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I think eventually. I think eventually it will. As far as to your point, I remember at one point the casinos, when they signed the compacts, weren't 24 hours. I think they're all 24 hours now. So they kind of do their own thing.
Well, no, the compacts were amended.
Yeah, they're always amended. Things get amended all the time, and
but you have to have two parties agree to the amendment.
I think there was a payoff too that maybe not necessarily was adhered to constantly, and that's been in the papers. It's been a while, but I'm just saying people do their own things sometimes, and I wouldn't be shocked to see things happen.
I will bet you, no pun intended, anything you want to bet, the state of New Mexico will not let the casinos just put sports books in because they want to without getting the okay from the state.
We will see. We will see.
They will shut those casinos down.
So my thing is, as far as
happens.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
I agree.
I can guarantee you that's not going to happen. One thing I did want to talk about is we've got a gentleman here on the show.
A gentleman? There are no gentlemen on this show.
That's true. Gentlemen's?
Gentlemen's?
Yeah, I like that. That is definitely follows high school sports, and I was wondering, can we start making book and start making, are you willing to give odds now on some of these
I don't know about that.
Well, why not? I mean, it's just like we'll have Sebastian Sportsbook.
Yeah.
I mean, it almost
seems a bit
works.
much for the high school sports.
You don't think so?
Seems a bit seedy even for you, Leo.
Well, I mean, you guys
That's saying something.
You guys haven't been here as long as I have, but you remember Richard Stevens in the Lins, his partner at the Lins, used to,
His partner.
put numbers.
Were they the same person under a different byline? Anyway, whatever.
We don't know for sure. But he used to put numbers. He used to put a number for high school teams. I'm just wondering.
But you couldn't go somewhere and legally bet on it.
Well, okay,
not legally. I said legally.
I'm just saying, we could have Sebastian's Sportsbook right here. And are you ready to make your picks for? Are you ready to start taking
Lord.
futures for next year's 6A?
No, absolutely
not.
not.
What's the futures?
I'm a well-respected voice of high school athletics.
Can I lay a little? Can I lay a little cheese on Rio Rancho? Or do I want to?
Pete Rose.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Did you see that meme?
Trying to ruin my career.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you see that meme with Pete Rose? They showed the picture of him smiling when Pete Rose finds out legalized sports gambling. I'm just saying. No, you don't want to do that?
No, I have.
Think of how much money that you could make, though.
Lord.
No,
what a terrible idea this is.
I'm a
I think it's a great idea.
broadcaster in high school athletics. I can't turn to the dark side.
Well, wait a second. You guys were just saying how great that sports gambling was. Now it's the dark side?
Yes, it is on professional athletics.
And college athletics.
College, yeah.
When you're betting on high school, that would be a bit much, Leroy.
Yeah.
Can we drop
that
it down?
would be degenerate.
Can we drop down to the middle school?
Well, that's what's next, right? And then Yaffle. You want to start placing odds on Yaffle games? I mean, come on, dude.
I did a few Yaffle games. I got a little bit of knowledge. I'm just saying.
Emphasis on a little bit.
A little bit,
Do
yeah.
you remember? I don't know if they still make it because I haven't done sports. Do they still make like the little gold sheet? Do you remember the gold sheet?
I don't know what.
This is back when there was paper and they'd have the picks or.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I just think we could do that. We could do like those commercials, like, "Hey, dial 1-900 Seabass to get your odds. Buy 5-star gold pick, or no, what is it? The 5-star lock of the
My free
week.
pick this week is El Dorado.
Yeah, there you go. My free pick's El Dorado versus Manzano.
Yeah,
What do you
Call
think?
me now for the 3-game parlay.
Yeah.
No, that's horrible.
Yeah,
That is horrible.
that's not going to be happening.
Come on, you can
but
make the
Michael's
little
right,
parlay
parlays. That's the way to make your money. But
Little parlay cards and I mean all this stuff.
Just
Could you
saying.
bet? Okay, could we bet on like DWO?
There are websites where you can bet on pro wrestling.
Okay, so we got that. Micah's not here, but yet he's
Right.
coming here. But I wonder if we could start betting on like some of these in-state fight cards that are out there.
Like Jackson Week Fight Night.
Yeah, Jackson Week
but
Fight Night, the ones they have up at Cities of Gold.
I don't know that you'll get, although you might, especially the ones that are at casinos. Once it gets going, yeah, maybe.
Maybe. What about like the Soul? Could you bet on the Soul?
Sure. I mean, soccer is always up for gambling.
Now you
I wouldn't be able to resist throwing in some Al Michaels lines though when I'm doing
Right.
play-by-play, if that were the case.
yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, I mean, but don't they always say that for those people that are going to lay a little cash? Not that it,
I've never heard it.
You've never heard them on TV where they say that? Oh, the odds are not that it matters because there's no legalized gambling.
No, but like Michael specifically, that touchdown's going to affect a lot of people.
Oh, yeah,
Stuff
yeah,
like that.
okay, I see what you're
So-
Well, Al Michaels is the best at that.
yeah, oh yeah.
Well, but wait a second though. But you just said that you can't. I thought you just said that you
Dude,
can't.
attention span up here. Up
Sorry,
here.
man. I got an email there. I got to see. My bookie's calling me. He's stressing.
Well,
out.
he's looking for real work.
He wants to join
Maybe
the show.
he wants Sebastian's
He's
job.
like,
He wants.
this high school
This high
sportsbook
school
thing you're
thing seems
talking
like
about.
a good idea.
Yeah.
Do they still have Leroy Sportsbook in Las Vegas? I haven't been there in a long time.
I would not step foot into a place called Leroy Sportsbook,
No?
just out of principle.
Speaking of sportsbook and odds and stuff, and I meant to do it, but I don't have a whiteboard here. It's just not in the show budget, along with parking and and a paycheck for you guys. But
Wardrobe.
yeah, wardrobe or makeup. But I wanted a whiteboard. I wanted to put the odds up there of sports that may be cut from the University of New Mexico
see?
as
There
the
we go.
Albuquerque
Poor
Journal.
taste. Poor taste.
Albuquerque. Well,
But by the way, that was poor taste as
that
well.
was a crappy poll.
For a variety of reasons.
A, it's wrong, fake news.
A third of the sports listed there's no possibility
Right.
they will be cut.
Exactly.
Because you had football, men's basketball, but you're most
women's
likely
sports.
not cutting any women's sports. You have Title IX implications. So basically what that poll was done for was to fan the flames. And I mean, there's nothing productive that comes from that. If you wanted to put a realistic, hey, these are the rumors going around, what do you think? Okay, I could get that. But a good third of at least a third of those sports, there's no chance they get cut.
I think even more than a third. Sebastian, did you vote?
I did not.
Okay.
Did not vote in this particular election, but I was I was encouraged when I saw the Jeff Grammer tweet that he doesn't think that sports will have to be cut, which is kind of what I was pushing for. Remember, I said clean the books, drain the swamp, then decide, and I think cooler heads are starting to prevail.
We'll see if that plays out. I do think that's a possibility. Not that sports won't be cut, but won't be cut now. Like you said, let the new president, the new AD, figure out exactly what's going on and exactly how much money is being spent and where, and then make your decisions and not have to rush anything.
Yeah, the longer and longer it goes, I think it's a horrible idea to do it anyway. I think you should go and cut the sports now, just get it over with. No, seriously, the news is already out there. Everyone's already upset. You know what I mean? You're going to eventually, you may not have to cut them this year. You may try to extend them or whatever, but it's already proven it can't last long term. Sports are going to have to be cut. Might as well get it done now. Why sit there and screw around with it?
I think you have ruined soccer, at least for the short term.
Long term, I think.
Possibly long term. If you believe rumors that baseball could be on the chopping block, you've probably crippled baseball to a certain degree in terms of recruiting, much like with soccer. So for some of these sports, the damage might already be done.
That's what I'm saying. It's just time to go ahead and just make the cuts. It's over. And you're going to have to do it eventually. I don't care what anyone says. You're going to have to do it eventually.
This is a little unrelated, but you probably hand out really crappy Halloween candy that no one likes. Huh?
Yeah.
I get the one.
So.
You know the black and orange
Candy corn.
kisses
You
or
take
whatever?
the candy corn. You take the sweet tarts and open them up, and then just give kids a little
And a
handful.
tart.
Yeah.
Kid.
Drop a couple of tarts in.
Nah, that one's still good. You can have that one.
Just awful.
Yeah, look. It's just a matter of reality. Okay, the reality is UNM can't afford to keep these sports. They just can't. And it's been proven throughout the time. Why we keep dangling them out there and keeping them. There's no chance. There's no need. Other schools across the country are same reasons we've talked about for the past how many years now. It's been done before here at UNM. Might as well do it now because everyone's already upset. So why, and you mentioned, soccer may have already been ruined, baseball's already, probably some of these other sports, they don't know what's going on. Let's just go ahead and do it now, get it over with. It's kind of like, why sit there and pull the Band-Aid? You got the hair on your arms and it rips it off and hurts. Just pull it off.
You'd rather
right
just
away.
shoot the patient. Yeah.
Because by that logic,
Yeah.
if you're only keeping the sports you need and they can be successful and make money, you're keeping basketball, and that's it.
Well, but we know that, not legally, but for anything, you have to have 16 sports to stay in the Mountain West Conference. You have to keep 16. So you're going to keep
people
basketball.
People want to cut football anyway. A lot of people do.
So
which would
here's the other
cost you
thing
the
about
Mountain
the
West.
poll that a lot of people. You could multiple vote there for a while. I think they've switched it, but there was a point there where you could vote, and then once you voted, you go back and vote again. I think they changed it now, but there was a point where you could.
You were stuffing the ballot box.
There was people stuffing the ballot.
All those
ballot
100 votes
box.
for soccer, that was all you?
No, I didn't vote. Actually,
I'm not even talking about the votes. I'm talking about people who call into my show every day.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it,
Yeah.
and Twitter and Facebook, and,
now look,
and social media.
I don't subscribe to that at all. I think you still have the potential in football to make that a huge revenue generating sport.
Sure.
The problem is, and I'll use your own words against you, what is it we've been talking about for years and years? The potential for football to make money.
No,
and
you're
what
right.
happens? So, I mean, it's a slippery. I'd be careful about advocating the cutting of sports.
If we cut 6 sports, that's like $3 million savings. You pour that into football, and that helps.
Fair
out.
enough. In 3 years, what happens when you need to cut more sports?
Well, you can't. They're all gone.
Well, and you're still not making budget.
But you can't cut anymore because you're already at the legal limit, or the Mountain West Conference rule limit, or whatever. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more Red Menace TV.
That's driven, that's deep, that's gone. That's a 2-run bomb turned in by Gabby Gomez. Second. Gotta give them a lot of chest lifted in the air to right field. That's drifting, and gone. That one. Drifting, the wind caught that baby and just kept it going. And Finger comes up.
Well, this one is
that's
hammered out
over
to
his
left
head,
field.
yeah.
That's gone!
It's a home run.
A 2-run shot for Austin Slagle. And La Cueva out in front 3-1. First homer in Isotope Park.
That's pulled well in to right, and it's gone! First inning homer for Martinez. Oh my God, that was wow. Who would have thought of that, huh? The Falcons.
They're very Look at this. Schlegel gonna hand it off to Pineda. Off the bag. No, the tag is there. Out!
One. Driven deep to center, going back, gone! Gomez on the 3-run bomb to straightaway center field. And you said it, explosive. Remain up. That's driven up the middle for another base hit. They're going to wave him around from second. Here comes the throw. Got him!
This one is hit heavily out to left field, getting underneath it. Ramos makes the play, the grab, and it's over. The 2018 state champs. It's the La Cueva Bears, their 10th in school history. And what a play to seal it up. We'll talk with your dad now. The big hug. That's priceless right there.
Got a good jump off there, but right next to Bird, though, is Volcano's Alejandro. This could be Bird.
It's a clean start. Jordan Bird there already in front with a white headband. It's not even close, ladies and gentlemen. This kid is something special. And Bird with a 10.58. He just missed it. Jordan Bird already blowing everyone out of the water.
Welcome to Cage Minds, the place where we talk about people getting punched in the face. So, Vasyl Lomachenko proves to be the best boxer on the planet, fastest to reach 3 world titles in 3 different weight classes. That was something incredible to watch this past weekend. Siddharth Sampilong is still the Glory lightweight champion. Amanda Nunes just bludgeoned Raquel Pennington into a controversy with the internet in her corner. Kelvin Gastelum's the new middleweight #1 contender, and it only took 15 seconds for Ryan Bader to knock King Mo out of the heavyweight Grand Prix and all the way down to middleweight. There's a lot going on at CageMinds.com. Check out the Cage Minds Uncensored show on the Cage Minds MMA show YouTube channel for much more on these events. But this week we have 2 guests joining us. This Saturday, Fit NHB will be celebrating their 20-year anniversary, and joining us this week to talk about those 20 years are their owners of the gym. We have Arlene and Tom Vaughn joining us this week. Thank you for being here, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you, man.
20 years, quite an accomplishment. First off, congratulations.
Thanks.
So when you started out, when you first started Fit NHB, 20 years, did you have any expectations of how long you'd be gym owners? Was it always just a, we're opening it, we'll see how it goes? What was it like?
You know, we just kind of went into it just kind of blinded, really. I mean, other than training on a personal level for ourselves, but just did it because we had enjoyed it and wanted to share it with people too. So here we are 20 years later, go figure.
Was opening the gym the first time you guys had really jumped into that coaching role?
No, we but both had already been coaches in the gyms that we were at. So just probably doing different types of teaching, not necessarily running the gym, so to speak, but just teaching students for our head coaches.
So what were those early days like?
Pretty wild. We also ran nightclubs, and we had a security team. So we were training a lot of our security people and working at night and training people during the day. And it's kind of wild times in those days, huh?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
What was that like then, working literally day and night?
I loved it at the time. After about 15 years in nightclub, I got a little tired of it. Started to get a little repetitive, but in the early days, especially, we were down this building right here, all down in this area. We ran nightclubs down here. The people that were in this building used to hire us to do these downtown fests. So it was, in those days, a lot going on downtown. We mixed it up a lot down here.
Yeah, it was back, when, downtown was really happening. People would actually come downtown to have fun. And, so it was a lot of people down here. A lot of people down here of all walks.
And that kind of notoriety helped grow the gym name and bring even more people in once they saw, wow, what style are these people using here in a real life scenario, right?
I guess you could say that. I mean,
I think
no holds barred. That's one of the reasons why we chose the NHB part, because it was no holds barred. It's kind of what we did in real life as security, people here downtown in Albuquerque. So we added it.
It put us in the public eye, and it gave us a way to give our fighters a little income and use the skills that they were learning. So yeah, I kind of one hand washed the other.
Now, what was the first landmark moment for the gym, in your guys' opinion?
Well, meaning, I guess if we look at it, if we're going to try to get out there in the public eye, it obviously would have been one of our fighters, and I think at this point that fighter would have been the WEC 4-time world champion, undefeated world champion, would have been Carlos Condit.
And that you felt was the first big landmark for the gym, putting the notoriety on it?
I believe so. I'm going to say that for sure, because not only that, I mean, it also put a big golden star for New Mexico also, because he was a world champion with the WEC. So
Carlos was the first Zufo world champion in New Mexico.
That was something big back in the WEC days, and we even had him fighting here at Santa Ana, right?
Right.
So those
Santa Ana?
WEC, correct?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now, there's been a lot of champions. Give us some feedback. What were some other ones that were some big wins? We know, obviously, the most recent one, but there's a lot that people don't know about. What were some big ones also that have led to the success of the gym, you felt?
Initially, Carlos was kind of our flagship. He kind of was the first through the door in a lot of things. So really kind of one of the first big things was how well he did on that Rumble on the Rock tournament with all those high-level names. I mean, there was, let's see if I can name them. There was Anderson Silva, there was Jake Shields, there was Yushin Okami, there was Dave Benet, there was
Ceruto, Frank Trigg.
Yeah, Frank Trigg, Ceruto. So the way we got into that was Carlos had fought once previously in Hawaii and beat up kind of one of BJ Penn's good guys. Renato Verissimo was BJ Penn's instructor, and I think they just kind of thought they wanted to they had one spot left open in the tournament. They thought, bring Carlos Condit in, let Verissimo beat him up, advance to the next round, whatever, and that was a miscalculation on their part. We turned it down at first, and then they changed the money and made us an offer we couldn't refuse, and then Carlos knocked Verissimo out in 17 seconds, and he ended up as the runner-up on that tournament. So that was a big moment.
And that was out in Hawaii, right?
Out in Hawaii, yep.
Landmark tournament there, I believe. All those guys almost are now middleweights, a lot of them. That was a huge deal.
Not even fighting.
So long ago, exactly. You mentioned Carlos. What would you say, who followed after Carlos that were the guys that were the flagship?
We had a group of people like that did well. I mean, we had we had other guys in the WEC. At that time we were going everywhere, all over the country, worldwide. We were taking fighters to Japan. We always had a good stable of fighters. The UFC was not as big then as it
is now.
So Carlos was originally supposed to be in the UFC. He had a contract with an organization called the WFA, and they didn't even ever produce a fight. They kind of went under, and Zuffa bought out their contract. So his first fight was supposed to be John Fitch in like 2007 or whatever, and I went back and forth with Joe Silva. I didn't like the match. I mean, nobody liked them, you know. People still don't like.
Yeah.
After
John Fitch matchup. Yeah. Paul Daly, that was classic.
Right.
So, you know, I just kind of went back and forth with Joe Silva, and finally, you know, I mentioned the WEC because they had just acquired the WEC, and I'd already done business with them, and I talked. Wasn't an argument, but it was a debate, and finally he's like, you know what, man, I think Carlos belongs here in the UFC, but I'll send you over there because I don't have any more time to do this. Got to Scott Adams, who was the matchmaker and running the show over there. He was thrilled to have Carlos, and kind of the rest is history. He was a meteoric rise from there for Carlos. But we had, you know, we had guys that were recognizable names. Maybe not the top of the sport, but we had, you know, Tim Means was from back in those days and did well early on. We had. You know, we had Gerald Lovato, we had Ox Wheeler, we had Craig Zellner was in the WC. We had, oh man, so many potential stars.
Well, we had a lot of fighters also in that group of fighters that were not just MMA fighters too. We had been breaking down the disciplines since the beginning, since 1998.
Right.
The fighters also boxed, they also kickboxed, they did Muay Thai, they did submission grappling in different tournaments. So it wasn't just MMA that we excelled at. We excelled at everything that we did for pretty much, you know. So those guys just kind of went off and did different disciplines basically, but ultimately came back, but they were still, you know, all teammates. So you may not have heard of them, but a lot of them did go and do other different things.
We were on the road
so,
all the time.
Yeah.
We were on the road all the time. Doing a 10-hour drive, 12-hour drive to take a team to a grappling tournament was nothing to us.
I know also in the boxing world, you guys were in the corner of Monica Lovato a couple times, so you've been even the world title side of MMA, the world title side of boxing, and very influential here locally, I feel, in the growth of women's mixed martial arts, that core group. So tell us a little bit about the women that you guys have produced over the years.
Wow, you know what? A little bit of everybody. Most of the girls that have come to us were there because their boyfriends or husbands were there. That was been kind of the percentage that they were significant others from the guys that were training at our gym and came in basically to lose weight or just to learn or to be around their guys, you know. But, you know, ultimately they really dug it and they stuck around, and we've turned them into champions, whether it be in the boxing game or the mixed martial arts game. And most of them, I think every single one of my girls, I believe, other than Nico at this point, started in the boxing game, and they were all undefeated amateur boxers that went on to be professional MMA fighters.
I think one of my favorite stories is Brenda telling me, Arlene just kind of came up to me like, do you know how to throw a punch? And now she's a two-time world champion in MMA.
Apparently she knows how to throw more than a punch, you know, which is great. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so, you know, the girls, everything's been coming along really good, and we're real excited that we've got a women's team, and they could do it all. They can break down all the disciplines, and they do.
Over the years, what has Tim Means meant? Wanted to ask. What has he meant to the gym and the team?
I liked Tim right away. He was just a kid, man. If you look at pictures, I can show you pictures of Tim when he first started with us. I mean, he looked like he was 12. He was probably, I don't know, 16, 17, you know?
16.
He was a teenager. And he was just a good, affable kid, a hard worker, ferocious in the early days as a fighter. This is not telling any secrets. I mean, he's told the story many times. He went through some rough stuff, went away for a while, and when he came back, he was just a changed man. And now he's one of the best guys I know. You know, he's a guy that really tries to be a good man. He's our team captain, which we don't take lightly. We're not a team where people float in and out. There's a lot of teams like that. We're not one of those teams. If you look at our roster, you'll see people that have been, you know, Thomas Schulte was with us 14 years. Carlos was with us for 11, 12 years, maybe, I don't know. Our pattern is long periods of time, building fighters, trying to help shape character, and Timmy's the finest among them.
Anything to add to that, Arlene?
You know, it's true, absolutely. He was just this kid that came to us, and luckily he was the unmolded clay that allowed us to mold him, and we did the best that we could, and we think he's great. And people haven't seen the best of Tim Means yet. So he's still growing, and we're real excited to have him, and he basically is, like Tom said, he's the team captain, and it's rightly so that he's the team captain. So.
There's one bone to pick I still have is back in the early days, his girlfriend spilled a whole Gatorade in our lobby and didn't clean it up. So if she's out there, you need to come back and make it
clean the floors. Come and clean the floors.
Make it right, girl.
Now, Tim took the level of fame and notoriety for the gym to an extra level once he hit the UFC and had such success. And then it's even went to a new plateau, obviously, with Nico's success, the TUF 26 win. What was that like in seeing a fighter for the first time get that UFC title?
Man, it was just a matter of time. I've been telling, I tell Tom all the time, we need to get our fighters in there, get them in there, get them in there. And every one of our fighters that have tried out for that show have made that show. Unfortunately, some of the shows were canceled, and they brought on different weight classes. But it came around. I told Nico, you need to do this, man. And she was all for it. But there's no doubt. We know what we have, and we know what we produce, and there's no doubt in our minds that our people can make it to the top. Nico was the one that actually went all the way with it and did it and beat all 4 of those opponents. Even grounded the last-minute opponent in the last change-up, you know what I mean, and went all the way. And now she's the UFC 125, the first UFC 125-pound women's world champion. And we couldn't be more excited, so...
We weren't really trying that hard, though. Arlene watched the show. I got to be honest with you. I don't really like the show. Like I'm not into reality television and all. People pissing on other people's pillows and stuff I don't know. I don't find that. I like the fighting part. Right. I come in, should be watching it. If the fight's happening, I'll sit down for a minute, but I don't want to see the rest of the stuff. But she said for years, tell them to go out for it. Tell them to go out for it. And I was kind of, half-assed. Got a few to go out, and I think I'd say 8 out of 10 people that went out for it made it all the way through the process. They're looking for some different stuff on the show. A big part of it is how you interview and what you say, and if they think you're going to be interesting on television. So we very well could have had people before that, and we will have people after this. Nico just happened to be the right place at the right time and had the right stuff. But, she went in with 16 girls. They ranked her 14 out of 16. And we were like, wow, okay.
It was quite an interesting ranking system. I'll give them that. It was interesting.
Well,
it was glad to see. I thought it worked out well in the fact that Nico fought the toughest people on the show, leaving what I thought would be no doubt, but the internet never loves not to argue. Same sentiments?
Hey, that's just how it is. If there wasn't that, then what would you have?
As to what, being the number one?
Well, having taken that tough road and having proven her value now.
Oh, I think starting out with the highest ranking girls, I think built momentum. And, for anybody that's ever competed in a tournament or anything like that, when you win your first match, then you're warmed up. Then you're in the mood, right? So, as a wrestler, when I was a kid, when I was doing a tournament, and I knew I was going to have to wrestle 7 times in a day, after I won the first one, then I'm good to go. And I think that's the same thing for Nico. I think she beat Lauren Murphy, and, then she knew.
Now, how do you guys look at the next matchup? Everybody wants to know. I can't let you guys get away with that without asking about it. Valentina, Nico, what do you guys think of it from the coaching aspect? How that matchup will be, because that's what the whole world, according to what I get messaged 30 times a day, wants to see.
Well, we knew that was going to be the opponent. That's kind of a no-brainer.
Well,
Valentina's been working hard. Well, I mean, we do and we don't. We knew, because Valentina knew, we already knew she's a 25er to begin with, shouldn't have been in the 35. She's right where she belongs now, in the 25 division. So it was just a matter of time, and we're there. So we'll be prepared. We'll be ready. We've got plenty of time, so we'll be ready when the day comes.
Well, I'll say that we've been on the right side of a lot of upsets. So if it turns out to be Shevchenko, I think that Nico goes in probably as an underdog, even though she's the champion.
I'm sure that's
but
what the
she
betting
was
books will
14
do.
out of 16.
Right, no doubt.
So she's already used to being the underdog. We know what we're looking at. If that's the fight they want to throw at us, let me tell you this. Every time that I've ever chased something too hard, it always backfired, right? Shevchenko's chasing this thing hard and calling it out. You know, she better watch what she wishes for, because she might get it, and it might not go the way she thinks. So we feel confident with our girl.
Transition back to the celebration. What is 20 years, the gym, this celebration on Saturday? What does that mean to you two each, having accomplished this gold?
Well, you know, it's been a long road, but it's been a fun road. It's been a good journey. We've met so many neat individuals, you know, on the path to 20 years. Did we think we were going to be here? It really wasn't a thought. Didn't really look too far into the future about 20 years being with our gym. But, you know, here we are today, and I tell you what, looking back, wow, what a road it was. There was some bumps in it. There was some smooth sailing, but it's been awesome. It really has been. And if we can do, you know, what we've done with the little bit that we've been given and the individuals that we had to work with, because we brought most of them up from ground zero, you know what I mean, which takes time to do. And we've turned some of these people into the UFC in 2 years. So pretty excited about 20 years, and I hope that everybody makes it out this Saturday. We're going to get started at 11 o'clock. We're going to do some demos from 12 to 1, and then we're going to fold it all up by 2 o'clock, so we'll have it all finished. But just real quick and simple, but we're excited and hope everybody can make it out. We just want to say thank you to everybody that helped get us there for 20 years.
A last comment from you, Tom, about it.
We haven't had 2 weeks off in 20 years. And it's anybody who's owned their own business knows it's kind of like that if you want the business to go right. So for me, this Saturday. It's informal, you know. People don't have to get dressed up. We're inviting current fighters, old fighters, students, whatever come. We've got a huge banner. We want everybody to come down and autograph our banner. For me, it's like if you've ever had an old scrapbook or a photo book and you haven't seen it in a long time, and you pulled it out and you started looking and you're going, oh my God, I forgot that Cub Scout uniform and the horn rim glasses that I had in 3rd grade, right? So look, we've been working so hard over these years. This is just kind of a moment to reflect for us, you know, and that's what it means to me, and remember some of the people that have been gone for a while and thank them and show our appreciation. And that's what it is for me. Just kind of a moment to kind of recognize what we've done before we push forward.
Again, congratulations, and thank you guys for being here this week. There'll be more Red Menace TV in just a moment.
At AC Prime, we cover cooling conversions to your plumbing needs. Locally owned and operated with hands-on owners. Call us today, 505-235-4904. AC Prime, our prime concern is you. Full House Real Estate. At Full House Real Estate, we handle everything from home sales to property management. With us, our team is your team. Give us a call today, 505-244-1918.
Terry Cosper Insurance Agency is a proud partner with Proview Networks and a proud supporter of New Mexico High School athletics. Terry's been a local farmer's agent for over 20 years for auto, home, life, and business insurance. Just like high school sports are important, so are teen drivers. For more information, call Terry or one of his licensed staff members at 898-5556. Quotes are available for you.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Car Crafters, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
The Barley Room, a proud sponsor of Proview Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you.
When I train for American Ninja Warrior, I schedule regular workouts to stay in shape.
To keep my car in Ninja Tough shape, I head to a Napa Auto Care Center for regular maintenance and genuine Napa Auto parts.
Like brakes and batteries.
I trust my Napa Auto Care Center for quality parts and quality service.
And with the 24-month, 24,000-mile nationwide warranty, I drive away with peace of mind every time.
Visit AutoCareNM.com to find a location near you.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at Proview Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Hey everyone, Adam Deal here with Proview Networks. Extreme Clean is a proud sponsor and supporter of Proview Networks and all high school sports athletics. Owner Mike McLean and Extreme Clean specialize in carpet cleaning for apartment, realty, business, and residential clients. With over 20 years experience, attention to detail and quality customer service matters. For more information, give them a call, 505-221-6440, Extreme Clean. Gecko's Bar and Tapas, a proud supporter of Proview Networks. It's been a fan favorite spot for food lovers and sports fans. With not one, but two great locations, including outdoor patio, an atmosphere you won't want to miss. Gecko's, off Academy and in Nob Hill.
The Red Menace, you like the way that goes?
We're back on 2 seconds. What the heck, Alden?
Well, he don't know how to count. Yeah. Remember, we already established that.
In the business, that's called a hot open.
By the way, I'm pretty sure I won because I laid down 3-1 odds he was going to screw that up. So,
hey, you know what? I did want to talk about one thing. So we are obviously joking about the kind of joking about. Well, okay, I wasn't joking. You guys, the high school gambling segment or section. But you do have a new segment coming up as part of the show. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, I will be local focus is what we're gonna call it. Basically, try to interview some local, not only limited to high school, but pretty excited. My first guest will be New Mexico's fastest man, Jordan Bird. So we'll talk to him. We'll break that up into a couple of weeks. Talk to him about not only his high school life here, but his future at San Diego State. And we've got some exciting things on tap for that. So if there's anything out there that you think deserves local focus, you can tweet that at me or the show, and I'll certainly try to track that down and chase it down.
So, we should have our
interview me.
Interview Mike Carlisle? Yeah. That would be a good interview. So, Mike, tell us about your athletic career.
Well, no, local focus.
End of segment.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, I used to be really good playing Madden.
Really? That's like a big deal, right? I've seen it like on TV, like they had it on ESPN where they were playing video games.
Video game, yeah, that is a big deal. Absolutely it is.
Well,
that's way above my level.
The NMAA is actually considering adding that, believe it or not, as a state event.
Get out.
It was in the paper.
Which game?
It was. I didn't read that far into it, but the last board meeting that came up that a lot of local high school organizations like the NMAA at state levels are entertaining the idea of having video gaming be a sponsored activity. So you could bring home a blue trophy for video gaming.
For like Pac-Man or?
No.
Probably be a little more modern than that.
It's a little more modern than that.
Call of Duty?
It's a big deal. No,
I know. There's a website. I can't think of what it is. Twitch. I think it's Twitch or something like that.
Showing your age.
Yeah.
Well, no, for real. Is it Twitch?
Did you read about this on MySpace?
No. This is on MySpace, yeah. This is where you play video games and like you videotape it, and people Alden's giving me the thumbs up. It is Twitch.
Oh, there's a shot.
And you actually, well, he maybe it could be a thumb. You can never know. 2, 3, 4, whatever. Anyway, you watch and subscribe and watch people play video games. It's
just like regular sports. How do you get better? You learn from the best, right?
Yeah, so that's kind of like what I do, and Sebastian and you with the Lobos, you go and you watch, and then that means you can now run and score touchdowns, right? Or shoot baskets, or...
I don't know if I just stopped listening.
You did the cheerleading thing. Did your cheerleading improve by doing the cheerleading and dance events?
No, and I don't know if I just missed something because I stopped listening to you altogether.
Okay, that's fine.
But the disconnect between going to watch real athletic prowess and real athletic events and then watching video games, like when ESPN shows the poker, I just don't get it, man. I just don't. And it's on all night long, so someone's watching it, right?
It's actually a ratings winner. It actually is, believe it or not.
Have you guys checked out any of the cornhole that ESPN shows?
No, I heard about that.
There was a big brawl at the end of one.
Well, yeah, but
brawl.
But yeah, I mean, they actually show cornhole tournaments.
Were they drinking? Do they get to drink as you play?
I don't think they show that part.
So it's not legit then? It's not like a real cornhole?
Well, it's legit. There's the board.
They used to show chess. Do you remember when they showed chess back in the day? Oh yeah, and the spelling bee, that was a big.
Oh yeah, they still show.
Yeah, but now they're
now we're
cornhole.
down to cornhole.
Right.
That's a winner there. Maybe we should do that.
Dude, Tiddlywinks and Jacks, I'm in.
Well, they'd have to cut the sport though. Could you
the funding?
I'm a Highlands guy,
minimal.
so maybe they'd be willing to do it.
Yeah.
If we got a couple of women to say, then it'd be a Title IX deal, right?
Sure.
If it doesn't exist in the Pac-12, it really doesn't exist to me.
What's the Pac-12?
Oh, it's the Conference of Champions, Leroy. You may have heard of it.
Conference of Champions? Yeah. When was the last time they won anything in the Pac-12? I can't even remember.
I think UCLA won one a couple of weekends ago.
What did they win?
Water polo or something. I don't know. They've won more national titles than any other university.
You know, I don't watch. I look at like basketball and
water
football.
polo. How do they teach the horses to hold their breath? No, sorry.
I watch football and basketball, and that's pretty much about the extent.
See, there's a whole big world out there, Leroy.
Yeah,
I know.
Well, and basketball is kind of a big deal at UCLA.
This coming from the guy that doesn't even watch European soccer.
I don't. I'm not European. I don't care about European soccer.
Are you European? Do you?
Yes, I do. I watch a lot of Bundesliga, actually.
Why don't you watch like the real leagues, like La Liga?
No, yeah. Well, one, I don't like your boy on BN Sports, but Bundesliga is the strikers league, so that's the.
They're on strike?
No, that's where the best strikers play. You know, so I
like Lech Walesa would have been a good Bundesliga guy.
I get into the soccer. I mean, I did catch Barcelona losing this weekend, and I caught that.
That was heartbreaking.
That must have broke your heart.
Yeah, a little bit. See, you don't even know. That's like remember when the Patriots went undefeated and then lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
it's kind of the same thing. But they had already won the championship and everything. So they ran the table. They're going for an undefeated season and then they lost. But the greatest player of all time wasn't playing, so
Pele?
Put that in. Pele.
Pelé's
that place you go. Go eat food, man. Why is it always got to go back to food?
I didn't say Pele.
You did.
All right. So anyway, so we got the Gladiators coming back. You mentioned that coming back soon.
Yeah, Gladiators will be back Memorial Day weekend. Now that's there. If you haven't been, and trust me, no one's been, but if you haven't been, it's an exciting product. They're first place. Chances are, if they win out, they're going to host the championship in the CIF. They have amazing talent on that field, and it's a fun product because it's back and forth scoring. It's like a video game. And some of these guys, Dello Davis, Antonio Bray, some of these guys on the if you haven't been to a Gladiators game, it's awesome.
I didn't make it. I haven't made it this year, but I have before. I used to do play-by-play.
It is a lot of fun.
It is fun. It's enjoyable. Which video game are you good at? So if you're going to go for the NMA Video Game Championship.
I don't know. I heard that was a thing in the.
Well, which one would you go for?
I don't know. I'm not a video game guy myself.
You're not?
No.
What about you, Carlisle? Do you?
I haven't played video
partake?
games in probably 7 or 8 years. But yeah, Madden and Tiger Woods golf, dude.
So so once again, local connection. You have Jordan Bird, right?
Yeah. So Jordan Bird will be my first
You're gonna have to ask
guest
him what
on
video game that he's down.
He is a video game.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying they don't make the NCAA football video game.
Right, not anymore.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. You can thank the O'Bannon twins at UCLA for that.
Yeah, right, yeah, exactly.
It always ties back to
UCLA always screws everything up.
The root of all evil.
Exactly. But I mean, because like if you're like that player, you can make yourself on a video game, right? Like legitimately, not just like.
You can do that in Madden too.
Well, I mean, I could, but I mean, what am I going to make myself to play? I mean,
anything you want.
The last time I played.
You seem like a bocce ball kind of guy.
I don't even know what that is, and that's what makes me scared.
Old people play it at a park. I know that.
Well, I'm not that old yet.
Or something,
I feel old, but I'm not. I'm a college student, dude. You can't be saying I'm old.
Dude, you're a 70-year-old college student, okay?
You gave me 10 years from last week, or 2 weeks ago.
You age at an incredible rate.
I aged at an incredible rate. NBA playoffs are just about wrapping up, I think. It's almost time for the next season to start. So.
They're not wrapping up yet. You're in the conference finals now.
Oh, so we still have a few more months.
You probably got about.
Well, the Western Conference finals are pretty much over.
Did UCLA win?
That's no, UCLA didn't win the NBA finals this year. Although they're well represented.
They are.
Yeah.
Who's in it?
The Warriors are. I mean, it's going to be Warriors for sure.
I think so.
And a lot of people are talking about Boston now. Like this is some great feat. They won 2 home games. What's the big deal?
They did what they were supposed to do.
No one has lost yet on their home floor. Until someone loses at home, then talk about it. Yeah.
All right. Paul Weir had a press conference. Got to get back to Lobos real quick. We only have 3 minutes. But Paul Weir had a press conference talking about basketball tickets going on sale. There was some internet talk about why didn't they start selling tickets sooner? Your thoughts on that, fellas, real quick?
I saw a tweet that 52 people have bought season tickets today.
That's huge. That might save like what? Jockstrap for the soccer team?
I don't know. They're not going to cut soccer. I know you want it to be gone, but it's here to stay.
They were my 6-to-1 odds to be cut if I had my board.
Dude,
even money was
anything over 4-to-1, and you're just wasting money on that bet.
Really, you think so? Actually, I think now the new number would probably be even money that they don't cut anything.
How do you go from 6-to-1 to even money just like that?
Did you hear what I said? Even money is they don't cut anything. They just kind of came in. They were off the board, but now they're on the board. I mean, don't you think?
I don't know if the odds are quite that good. Nothing gets cut, but I do think there's a better chance now than say 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. I think women's beach volleyball could be axed because I don't think that hurts Title IX at all because
I don't think that will be.
It does hurt Title IX because that's why they started women's beach volleyball was to help get Title IX.
But I thought
compliant.
most of the girls that are on the beach volleyball team also play on the regular volleyball team.
They do, but it's another sport.
And volleyball has a very good endowment, so they would never get cut. See, that's some Lobo Insider stuff like that.
Volleyball's well endowed.
No, that's not what I said.
Is that what you're saying?
But so their money situation.
I'm just using your words.
We're going to have Jeff Nelson on next week here on Red Menace TV. We can talk about that.
What are you saying? I don't know if this set could take Jeff Nelson on with the 3 of us.
You're right.
I mean, we'd have to get a bigger table.
For sure.
Wow.
I'm just saying, none of us are small men.
This gambling has really taken us off the rails.
The gambling is where it's at. So what do we got? Anything going on this week on 610?
Well, NBA playoffs, second leg of the Triple Crowns this weekend, the Preakness.
Nice.
For
you know, I hit the exact.
Which you can legally bet on here in the state of New Mexico.
I hit the exact on the Kentucky Derby. Tore it up.
Did you?
I did. 2-1. All right. Alden's giving us the wave. I don't know if he's counting. 30 I don't know if he's counting because you can't trust Alden. He doesn't know numbers.
Tired of your shenanigans, clearly.
That's I'll tell you what. Hey, great show today. We look forward to your segment next week. For Michael Carlisle, Sebastian Noel, and Alden. I don't know how to count. Maybe you should, what was it, the count on Sesame Street? Anyway, I'm Leroy Lucero. We'll see you next week. God bless you all.